Last Monday afternoon, I came across a thing called Chip Starter on Instagram. Something put on by Chip Gaines from Fixer Upper, asking people to submit their dreams, and that he was going to select a few to just invest in them and really get them kick-started for what they're doing. And so the deadline was Tuesday morning, 10:59 a.m. So that evening I wrote out my responses to all the questions on the submission form, and I was planning on submitting my video on Tuesday morning. So I came into the office, put everything in the submission form, and was going to shoot the video. Did that. I got a whole line of blooper videos to go with it. I had a video conference call at 9:30, and been waiting for this conference call for 5 years. That's no joke, and it's a lot of details, but just something I'm working on. And here I finally had this really great meeting, and thought I'd probably go 30-45 minutes, and I'll get my video done, shot, uploaded to YouTube, and submitted. All I had to do is put the YouTube link in there. And so anyways, my meeting went amazing, and it's something that I've really been waiting for a long time in association with our ministry. I kid you not, I sat there and I got off of the video conference at 11 o'clock, which was 1 minute past the deadline to submit the form for the dream. I was pretty bummed, I have to admit, because I was excited about submitting it, sharing our dream of creating a movement amongst churches to care for orphans and vulnerable kids. Well, anyways, we had a trip planned down to Austin, Texas. I had a church consultation down there on Saturday. So I asked my wife if she wanted to go with me. She doesn't often get to travel with me. And so on this trip, she decided and was able to go. So we were driving down. We got to stop in Waco, stopped off at Magnolia on the way down. It was super crowded with the Silobration events going on. So we didn't get to spend much time there because we had a dinner event we had to go to in Austin that evening. Well, the next day we came back, and my wife is a Baylor grad, and so we were going to stop, drive through Baylor, get to check things out a little bit. We got back into town about 4:30 or so, and I just said to her, hey, do you want to just see if we can go swing by Magnolia and get in for a few minutes? I know they're closing at 5 to clear out for the event tonight. So we did that. I dropped her off so she could get in. I parked the car and went to go meet her. And as I was walking in the gates, right in front of me, there was a guy that ended up giving two tickets to the celebration that evening. And I thought, oh man, that was a bummer. I wish I was just a few steps ahead. I would have maybe got those. And for a lot of you who know me well, know that I have real favor with God on getting free tickets. And so I was like, oh man, I was so close. And so anyways, as they were clearing the grounds to get ready for celebration, we started walking back to our car, and I just had this sense of like, we're not supposed to leave. And so I didn't really say anything to Susan, so we walked back and I said, hey, let's just go hang out in front of the gates and just kind of watch people. And so I just had this sense that we were going to get tickets to be able to go to the celebration. And so we stood there for a little while, and we're just watching people, lots of people gathering in lines on both sides of us to get in for celebration. And wouldn't you know, a lady walked up right to Susan and just said, hey, I've got an extra ticket, would you like it? And Susan said, sure, yeah, we would take it. And I thought, okay, God, that's cool. I mean, I know this is something I get to experience, and now Susan was able to get this ticket. And so anyways, I was like, okay, God, thank you for that one ticket, but it's sold out, and we, if we're both going to be able to go. And we just talked and said, if we don't get another ticket, we'll just bless somebody else and we'll be able to give this to them. I just kept standing there and just praying like, God, I think we're supposed to go to this, and I don't know how you're going to do it, but we need another ticket. And so it was getting close. They started letting people into the gates. And I happened to see a group of ladies that were standing kind of by the entrance, and I saw that they all had their wristbands on, but one of them was holding the extra ticket. So as I walked over there, they had already started asking this other lady if they wanted the ticket, and they were giving it to her, and she said, well, I'm here with a friend, we really would need 2 tickets to be able to go. And so I said, hey, I said, by the chance, do you have an extra ticket? And they said, yeah. And so they kind of looked at me and said, would you give $20 for it? And I said, yeah, I'd be willing to do that. And so I reached out of my pocket, and I had gotten a little cash for the trip. I usually don't carry much cash with me. And so I carried this cash, but I reached into my pocket and I didn't have any cash on me, and I don't know what happened to it. And so I said, hey, let me just go check with my wife and just see if she happens to have any cash. So I walked over, I said, do you have any money on you? And she said, no, I don't have any cash. So I walked back over to these ladies and I said, hey, I'm sorry. I said, we don't have any cash on us. And so the lady just looked at me and she said, here, you can just have this ticket. And so here we were, both had tickets from two different people to go into Silobration that night. And so anyways, went in, and it was amazing. I didn't really know. One of my favorite bands is Switchfoot, but I didn't even know the lead singer's name, which is John Foreman, and he happened to be one of the guys singing at the Silobration that night. And I'll just tell you that the whole thing, just as we were standing there and getting to experience this whole thing, God was just really speaking to my heart. It was so encouraging to hear the MCs talking about just, as their team at Magnolia just really prepared this event, just to encourage people to keep their dreams and to believe in miracles. And as John Foreman got up, sang one of my favorite songs, Dare You to Move, and then to listen to Chip and Joanna, was just amazing. I just so appreciate their heart, and just really being a witness for Christ, and just acknowledging how God has just really blessed them and opened up the opportunities and their obedience and stepping out in faith, even to open and purchase and buy the silos. But I wanted to give a shout out to Chip and Joanna and just say, it was so encouraging for me and my wife to be there. I just believe that God allowed us to have that experience. We hadn't planned on it at all. We were just heading up to Dallas to hang out that evening. But we got to celebrate and rejoice with those the three on Saturday night, and heard about the other three on Friday night that Chip and Joanna just bless in such a huge way. And I just know that those dreams that they are investing in are just going to make a huge difference. And with that, I have to admit, I was bummed. I mean, I just felt like, man, I didn't even get in the game to even select. I heard that there was 2,700 videos submitted, so there's no guarantee that we would have even been in the top 6, but it just to feel like, hey, we didn't even get a chance to be in the game. But I would just say the overall experience being in there was such an encouragement. And, I just want to share with you, I know this is a long video. If you're hanging out with us even to this point, we feel like God has laid on our heart to create a catalyst movement of churches and Christians to care for orphans and vulnerable kids. And to be honest with you, and we need help. We know what it means to really to be in a place that we've invested, we've sacrificed, we've been obedient, and God's just really opening up some major doors for us. And Orphan Sunday's coming up. We've got a lot of exciting things with that. We're getting ready to launch in January a foster care initiative at Oklahoma Wesleyan University. We're super excited about that. Yeah, we're still in the process of writing our book about our adoption journey and what led to Faces with Names. And we need partners. For every submission of those 2,700 videos, every single person was just dreaming that they would be the one that was selected. Because, yeah, it's cool to think about, man, you get this huge influx, but we know, and we're still believing for those type of miracles, but we also know that we just need partners that will believe in what we're doing and that will invest in us on a monthly basis, or a gift that you could give to Faces with Names. We just believe that God is going to do amazing things through this ministry. And we believe as a result, and that orphans and vulnerable kids are going to know the love of a family as churches really engage in this. I have to admit, this last 3 years of my life, I've been in ministry for almost 25 years, actually over 25 years now. And these last 2.5 years or so have been the hardest ministry years of my life. Just a battle, because we are really creating a new lane of ministry. And even though the call to care for orphans and little kids is so relevant and so biblical, it's just something that most people don't understand, and they don't have really a reference for. So we feel like we're having to create a whole new platform of ministry to call people to care for orphans and vulnerable kids. But we just invite you. I've put a link down there. We'd love for you to consider becoming a monthly partner with us, to come on board with a one-time gift if that's what you're able to do. And so we just want to thank you for that, and thank you for your consideration. Like I said, if you're still on with us, I know you're committed and interested in what we're doing. This is a long video, but I just want you to know that we believe that God's called us to do this. We feel that we are into this for the long haul. And again, I just want to thank Chip and Joanna Gaines for the encouragement to keep dreaming and to still believe in miracles, because that's what we're believing for. So thanks again for hanging out, and we encourage you to consider joining us through your financial giving. Thank you very much, and have a great day.